welcome to Coffee with Connie. Today, my guest star is the fabulous Regina with Marshknitting101. How are you doing today, Regina?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Um, so y'all got y'all coffee going today?
I got
Yeah, I had a cup of coffee before I went live. I'll probably have another cup of coffee afterwards too. But yeah, um, oh, I'm getting tongue tied already. um, After the live, I want to work on my knitted shawl. I have
mine.
I have started the pretty as a peacock shawl, which that's gonna be a project.
I like the name of that.
That is going to be, and as it is, like I've had to go back to the lifeline like 3 or 4 times already. But now it's getting easier because this section I can use stitch markers for the repeats on the row. So that helps a lot. But this project's going to be pretty big. Um but yeah, that's what I plan to work on today. Oh, hi Missy. How are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? And hi Brenda. How are you and what are you working on?
Hi, y'all.
Yeah, so I have some coffee lovers top 10 hit songs. So y'all ready for these? The first one is Living La Vida Mocha by Ricky Morton. Living La Vida Mocha. I know I can't sing. The next one is Don't Worry, Be Frappy by Coffee McFarland. Oh, hi, Deneen. How are you doing today? And what are you working on? And the next Coffee Lovers top 10 hit song is Everything I Brew It For You by Brian Adams. Next is, this was a tongue twister. I've Been Waiting For You by ABBA. It's like you want to say being instead of being.
Bean,
and,
coffee bean.
and then the next one is Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard. Pour that sugar in your coffee.
Sugar, sugar.
Then express yourself. Oh, oops. I'm sorry. Espresso yourself
Oh,
by Madonna. Then have I told you percolately that I love you by Rod Brewer.
percolating. Oh,
And then You're Beautiful by James Blunt. And
oh.
and I like Big Cups and I Cannot Lie by Sarah Lot. So if you're a coffee lover, these songs are for you. Hi, Morgie. How are you doing today? And what are you working on?
Hi, y'all.
Misty says she's working on a pillow cover.
What?
Awesome. Awesome. I have now started my pretty as a peacock shawl. And I wonder how long this project's going to take me. I figure it's going to take a while.
Maybe
And
once you get the groove of it, you'll get it.
let me pull that up so y'all can see what this pattern looks like in case y'all haven't seen it yet. I think this pattern is beautiful or brutiful.
Beautiful.
Brutiful. Like coffee brewing. Okay, let me get this up. But this is what I'm knitting.
Oh, that is pretty.
And I'm using the oh, what you call it, yarn bee yarn in the color peacock. It's a
Oh,
number
that's
one weighted yarn. I can't think of the exact name of the yarn, but it's called Peacock. So it has like different peacock colors.
I like that because it got like like it looks like the feathers in the back.
I know. I love how that looks.
And if you're doing that peacock, so it's gonna be like that yellow and the blue, or not yellow, but greens and what blues, and I'm sure there's some pink in there somewhere.
I'll pull up the yarn. I should have brought it by me. I'll show you what yarn I'm using. Give me just a second. It wants to take forever. Trying to find it. No, haven't gotten to it yet. Oh, here it is. Okay, now let me pull it up on here. Okay, this is the yarn.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be pretty. It does look like a peacock too.
All right, so that's the yarn I'm using. Okay, let's see. We have Margaret that joined us. Hi, Margaret. How are you doing today? And she's crocheting her second filet hummingbird, and she's drinking cold water this morning. She ran out of coffee. Oh, no,
Oh
no
no,
coffee.
that's never good.
I know. Let's see. Morgie says, I'm at work, 4 more weeks to retirement. Ooh,
Awesome.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
So, what are you going to do in retirement? And let's see, Missy says, I wish I could knit. I only know how to crochet. See,
Oh,
I learned how to knit first, then I learned crochet. And
oh,
have you done any crocheting yet, Regina?
I've been working on it. I still know how to do the chain, so I haven't got to pick it back up for a couple weeks because
Yeah,
my sister all passed away, so it's kind of been kind of hard to get moving on and settle, and because it was just sudden, and it was like she was here one day and the next day she passed away.
yeah. Yeah. Regina is a knitter. So let's see. We have Diane that joined us. Hi, Diane. How are you today? And what are you working on?
But I always say if I can knit, anybody can knit, and I'm left-handed, so it's been a struggle for me, but I'm getting there. I know the basic stitches, knit and purl.
See, I found it was easier to learn how to knit than crochet.
That's why I was like, well, I got the chains that, the single, like my mom was telling me how to do it. And I'm like, all right, I think I remember. And I'm like, well, I got that part done. Now I just have to do the other single chains and the whatnots, as I call it.
Because I had tried to learn well, I did have an attempt at crocheting whenever I was a teenager, but I played around with it I think one day and that was it. Then before before I even learned loom knitting, I had tried to learn how to crochet, and I was confused. It's like I did not understand the turning and the chains.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
like, I like the two needles better.
so, and to me, I found knitting was easier to learn, but I know everyone's different. Um, so I picked up knitting. Well, then I got into crochet finally. But once I did Selena Bacchus tutorials on what you call it, Craftsy. See, I picked it up right away from her. She explained really good. it's like I knew how to count my stitches. I knew exactly what to do after each row. I was like, and from there, it started coming easily. Let's see, Diane's working on Christmas items. And Margaret says that she's been sad this couple of months. Last month, one of her niece, oops, the chat jumped on me, sorry. She said last month, one of my nieces passed. Then this month, one of my granddaughters. Then yesterday, a nephew. Oh, no. I'll
Sorry to
keep
hear
you in
that.
my prayers.
Prayers for you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let's see, we have Lois. It's pronounced Lois, right? I think it's Lois. Lois.
Lois.
Lois, okay. Hi, Lois. How are you doing today? And what are you
Hi,
working
Mom.
on?
Morning, Mom.
Hi, Mom. And let's see. Diane says, I can't hold stick in each hand. Um, I don't know. Like I said, to me, it came more naturally to me. But the bad part about knitting, and this is the hardest thing, is drop stitches.
Mm-hmm.
And when you first start, expect them. That's all I can say. Expect drop stitches. The more you do it, the better you get at preventing them. And I do have a video that gives some helpful tips on how to prevent them from happening. But like I said, some of it takes time because you got to learn how to hold those needles just so to keep those stitches from coming off. Let's see, we have Anita here. How are you doing today? And what are you working on? Oh, she's dancing to the music in the ads.
Keep you busy, huh? Like, get through the ads.
You missed the coffee lovers top 10 hit songs. Let's see. I like big cups and I cannot lie.
Girls coming, better get whipping.
You are beautiful.
People, the songs and things that people can come up with, it's amazing.
Espresso self. Okay, I'm being bad. Let's see. Brenda says I can knit. She knows to knit and purl and cable stitch. Haven't moved on to more stitches yet. So many crochet projects going on for customers. See what I usually do when it comes to knitting. The main stitches is the knit and purls, but you have like some other stitches like yarn over, knit two together, SSK, PSSO, stuff like that. And normally, like when I first was learning knitting, when I would come across that, I would just look it up. And
That's
even
what I do. I'm like, this one.
even still, like sometimes I'm like, hold up, which stitch is this? And I have to look it up still. Because like especially like some of the SSK, well that one I have down now, but some of the odd stitches, you don't do them as much on a regular basis. So if it's been a while since I've done it, I have to look it up. Okay, we have Sid that joined us. Or did I just tell her hi? How are you today? What are you working on? Okay, let's see. Missy says, I had a work accident in 2015 that disfigured her left hand. She's like, thank God I'm right-handed, so I'm not sure I could work with the needle with my left hand. Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah, you might have some, trouble because of that. And let's see. Everyone's saying hello. We also have Julia here. Hi, Julia. How are you doing? And what are you working on? And we also have Nina. Hold on, I'm trying to remember. Her name's, I think, Lorianne. It's something like that. I'm trying to remember exactly. Yeah, let me know what your name is. Again, I know I'm real close to your name. I know it starts with an L. Let's see. She says learning to knit is on her 2023 list of things to do. But for now, I'm working on the crochet crown, crochet along, the study of ombre. I love ombre. Ombre is so pretty.
Hombre.
And Anita's been working on Lenore. And let's see. Brenda says I need to focus on what I'm knitting until I get it down. Yeah, it just, basically it takes practice. You'll get more comfortable with the stitches the more you do them. And I always say the purl stitch is awkward. Let's see, we have another Diane. Hi, Diane. How are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? The topic today, we're just basically chit chatting. I'll be asking some random Yorny questions. Probably do a little coffee talk. um, and then I'll be sharing some patterns later on in the live. And let's see. Brenda says she just got the side fins to make them. Oh, I got I'm struggling today. She said just got the side fins to make, then I'm done. Okay. And look, look, why do I have trouble saying your mom's name? Lois?
Low.
She's working on some crochet dishcloth.
Making me some, Mom.
And Anita says I'm near the end of the body. And Diane's also working on the study of ombre. Julia's working on doily to make a mandala wall hanging. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Morgie's working on the Gin Ivy Wild and Free top.
It sounds cool.
And she also does paper crafts. Diane's working on a shawl with this yarn. I think I got from Michael's, but I can't find it anymore. That's one thing. It's like when they discontinue things, it's like, why?
You're like, need one more skein. And you're like, ah.
And especially if it's a popular selling item, it's like, why discontinue it? All right. So my guest star is Regina with Marshknitting101. So for those not familiar with her, I'm going to let her tell y'all more about herself, things going on her channel, and her channel too. So take it away, Regina.
Hi, y'all. It is Regina, as aka Marshknitting101. I'm new to the YouTube channel stream, so I've been knitting for almost probably, I would say, a year and a half. I started out loom knitting and then moved on to knitting because everyone was afraid to teach me because I was left-handed. So I learned. And currently, right now, I got a few projects that I'm working on. I'm working on my summer top. And
Pretty.
it's just a little pink. I had to do two of these because it wasn't in the round. It's in the round, but it's not together. So I'm almost done. I'm getting ready to work on the neck part. I got the ribbing done for the sleeves here. And then
I love the colors.
Thank you. I love pink. Pink, pink, pink. And then I've been working on my summer sock camp that Kate, the crazy sock lady, does every year. And unfortunately, I've got one done.
That's pretty. I love socks.
And then this is my second one. I got a little bit done on it yesterday.
Oh.
And then that's all besides the temperature blanket, which is in my bedroom. That's my night knitting. I did finish my American gnome for the 4th of July. And then I got the other one over there.
I love gnomes.
I did hit my 300 subscribers. I think I was at 304 today. So yay! I am doing a giveaway. I did post a video a couple weeks ago, so you'll have to check it out. I think it's something that's time for a giveaway or something. So check it out. It is only open for the US. I did say the only 48 continuous states, but I think I'll open it up to the 50 because I figured a couple $2 to $3 more isn't no different than the 48 states. So, but check that video.
Actually, from what I understand, it's supposed to cost the same to ship to Alaska and Hawaii. Because if you look it up, it does say it's the same cost.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've been told that definitely flat rate is the same cost.
Yeah, the flat rate. I think it's like for one of like the medium sized box is like $16.90. You seem to say $17 after taxes and stuff. So I was like, well, if it's $18, $1 more or two, it's just might as well do the whole United States. And hopefully I can get out to the internationals again. I was thinking maybe next month do like the gift card or like a pattern of their choice off Ravelry or somewhere. But I do have a couple projects in line. I am going to work on making my daughter her sweater, and I got it off Ravelry. I can't ever say that name right. And it's just called Autumn.
Ooh.
I ran out of colored ink, so I had to burn it in the black and white. But I'm using this like off gray for the body.
Ooh, nice color.
I think it's the Premier yarn. So, and then for the colors for the flowers and stuff, I got this from the Hobby Lobby. And I think my daughter picked like this red and this and the like green to put in for like the little designs in here. I'm working on that. I haven't got there yet. So I was like, well, make sure I got everything before I start. Sometimes they like change the needles in between and you don't know until you're halfway done. And then I've been wanting to, yesterday I got my Mary Max subscription and I'm going to work on, it's called the Triangle Shawl. And it's really pretty.
Ooh, nice.
And I've never ever seen this kind of yarn before. It's like, I call it like the crazy yarn because it's got a little bit of everything in it.
Cool.
You can see it has like the lacy kind of that, and then this like regular, and then it's got like the chunkier yarn in there.
Interesting.
So I told my daughter, I was like, yeah, tomorrow I need you to help me so I can make cakes and get this ready. She's like, it took an hour last time because I had her help me do the socks. I was like, you gotta help your mama. And I think everything, and then I am going to cast on to make a gnome for Halloween, like the fall colors. I'm excited. I'm addicted to making them things.
I know there's a bunch of Halloween ones that I'm like, oh, I need to make this, and this.
I was like, I wanted this. I was like, oh, the witch looks cute. I was like, there's like a ghost. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah. And then some of the girls at work, they're like, well, if you make me one, I'll buy it off you. I'm like, well, I'll give you ask me next year. But that's all I've been working on, and I did just post a video yesterday of my Quip Wednesday, and then I will post a couple videos of my unboxing of my knit crate and the Mary Max, and then I have another one that I want to post where I went for a shopping, me and my daughter. We found some cute yarn. I was surprised. I was like, what? It was, I'll throw out like a blue, it was darn good yarn. I found something for $1.99.
Ooh.
I was like, ooh. My daughter's like, look, it's in the box and everything.
I love good deals on yarn.
Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, a few little odds and ends. So I'll get them videos posted up sometime between now and Wednesday of next week.
Let's see, we have Cindy that joined us, and also we have another Diane
Hi,
Conley.
Diane.
I think we have 3 Dianes now in the chat. How are all of y'all doing? What are y'all working on? Anita says, it's the aliens plot to drive us insane. Yeah, I've been tripping over my words a lot today. I blame it on the aliens.
The aliens is lack of coffee.
Let's see. Diane says, I want to get comfortable with knitting, but I get quite frustrated when I lose a stitch. Yeah, that's the worst part, especially when you're a beginner. When you get more experienced, it don't happen that often, but every now and then it still happens. Um, but I do have a video showing helpful tips to help prevent dropping stitches. And I also have 2 tutorials, one on how to fix a drop stitch in a garter stitch, and also how to fix it in stockinette stitch. Oh, you got something else to show?
Oh, this is the other part of my summer top. I forgot I had it laying behind me. So
Ooh,
it's a little big. So I made it extra large because I was like, well, if you do, like, because sometimes your measurements aren't quite with the yarn for me. So that's what happened when I made my cardigan. So I made it a little bigger. So that way when I sew it up, I can still wear it in the wintertime with a long sleeve shirt underneath of it. But I'm almost done with it. I just like the ribbon for the sleeves.
and a lot of times the reason that you have that ribbing on the edge is because if you do like all stockinette, your ends are going to curl. So you get that edging like that to prevent the curling. But yeah, let's see. Diane says, I'm working on my latest obsession, Fiber Spiders Granny Meets Virus Shawl. On, I'm getting so tongue tied today. I'm on probably my 15th this summer. Awesome. That's one shawl that I do want to make. I actually just finished the post virus shawl by Bagaudet, which I will be showing that tomorrow. I'm going to combine my Crochet Tuesday and Knitting Friday video since I didn't do my crochet video on Tuesday. So you'll get to see that finished shawl. Then I finished the Climbing Ivy shawl, which is a knitted shawl. So y'all get to see that shawl too. I've, like I said at the beginning of the live, I started the knitted Pretty as a Peacock shawl. So, and I got
I'm
to figure
excited
out
to
what,
see that finished. I think it's gonna be beautiful.
but that one's going to take a while. Um, and then I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to work on for crochet next. So if y'all got any ideas, uh, I have a feeling it's probably going to end up being one of Bagaudet shawls. Let's
She has
see.
some beautiful shawls and hats, and she does wonderful work.
So yeah,
Even though
I also. Oh, go ahead.
I don't crochet, but she does. I was like, man, if I learned to do that, I was like, I can make that. That's beautiful. And like, I think the last one was like the jumper, like the whole crocheted outfit. I was like, that's cute.
Yeah, because it's like I kind of in between like a gnome or shawl. And I have started thinking about trying to start making some Halloween gnomes.
That's why I was like, I'm gonna start doing the Halloween stuff and get that because I think next month, well, it's almost next month. Might as well say August. I'm gonna start like working on my Christmas stuff because I did want to get like Christmas stockings made for like the 3 of us and the one for my mother-in-law. That way, I'll be like, look, I made something for you guys. That's all you getting.
Let's see, we have Inherited that joined us. And we
Good
also
morning.
have Carrot Boo. How
Hi,
are you
Carrot.
doing? And what are y'all working on? And I feel so bad. I always forget Carrot Boo's name. And I'm trying to think of it. I know once I hear it, I'm gonna be like, "Yep, that's it."
I try to remember what it is.
But I feel like every time she pops in my live, I forget her name.
I can't
Let's see.
remember.
I'm trying to think. Normally I'll like know what letter a name starts with at least, or I have like two people that I kind of confuse them. But I'm like my mind's drawing a blank.
I think
Nancy.
she Nancy. I was gonna say I think I've seen Nancy fly by. Well, good morning, Nancy.
I'm sorry, Nancy. Hopefully next time I'll get it. Let's see, we also have Rosemary that joined us. Hi, Rosemary. How are you doing today? And what are you working on? Let's see, Anita says, when I made my skull shawl, it was fiber spiders. Of course, I had to Mama it. I love his videos. Yeah, he has some good tutorials. All right. So, the question I'm going to ask is, how do y'all store your yarn? So, how do you store yours, Regina?
Well, some of them are in totes because I have like a little area now for my crafting room. But my husband got me like this shoe rack from Walmart, so it has like 30 places. So I just kind of shoved all of it, kind of organized it. I was trying to organize it yesterday to do like my yarn inventory to see what I needed and what I didn't need, and kind of push it away. And then my little sister's gonna have a baby in October, so I was out there trying to pull out the pink yarn for because she's having a little girl. So usually in that or baskets. I like my basket.
For me, it's either totes or boxes. But my yarn so needs to be reorganized. It's a disaster zone right now.
I feel yeah. It's like my husband's like, why is there yarn all over the house? I'm like, I don't know where it came from. I was like,
It don't stay
organized.
organized.
No. Because you get in there and you start pulling out stuff. I was like, well, I might make something with this. I'll set it to the side. And 3 days later, it's still sitting there because you decided that that wasn't what you wanted to do. So then you're like, you shove it back in.
Because I try to like organize it where I have like my solid color yarn in one box. Then like my cake yarn in another box. Like my fingering weight in another. Um, and then like I have it divided up some other ways too, but it's like I'll pull yarn out and it's like it don't stay where I want it at. It's off elsewhere.
My problem is because I got a lot of the knit needle, like the straight needles and not the circular needles. So I'm like, where can I put these at where they're not going to fall or get tangled and everything? So I just got like a little tote and shoved them in it. And I was like, but then I got like all these wooden ones. So I use them for my decorations.
Yeah. And who else's yarn is taking over their home?
I got like a little basket set around. I told my husband, I was like, well, you got like, how many guitars you got hanging on the wall and all over the house? I was like, I'm just tearing eating the guitars with some yarn.
And let's see. Let's see. Nancy says most of mine is in a cheap cube storage shelf. Some overflow is in various boxes and bags. I try to give some away when it's been sitting around for a while to save space. And let's see. Rosemary says, I'm working on the kaleidoscope red heart blanket for my son and daughter in law for Christmas. Plus, I'm making my daughter and son in law one. Also,
Sounds cool.
yeah, people are already starting on their Christmas project.
Yeah.
Yeah, on August Southern Crocheters Live, we're going to be talking about fall projects, which will be the third Wednesday of August. And it's on my channel this month, or this coming month. I mean, we're still in July. Oh, that reminds me of something. Monday's live, I'll be talking about number 4 weighted yarn. So if y'all have makes using number 4 yarn, which I think pretty much all of us probably do, send y'all pictures and I'll make a little video of y'all makes for Monday's live. Yeah, really it's funny because like I have a feeling I'll get a lot of pictures for this live. I need to start announcing it more though. I've kind of been procrastinating this week. Let's see. Oh, I thought you were saying something.
I said it's just kind of up here. It's been rainy, so it's kind of like a sluggish, like let's just stay in bed all day kind of thing. You gotta get motivated.
We keep getting thunderstorms, and one of my lives, I think it was last week. It thundered, and it was like really loud, and it startled me. And this happened while I was live. I was like, what was that? Let's see. Anita says, mostly in totes, but I have yarn all over the house. Cindy says, I am not working on anything right now. I am thinking of making some more hot pads, pot holders, and I also want to make a post-fire shawl if I can find the perfect yarn to use. Yeah, that post-fire shawl is gorgeous. And wait till y'all see mine. I'll be showing it on my video tomorrow. I'm combining Crochet Tuesday and Knitting Friday on tomorrow's video. But yeah, I use the Soho, Playful, and Purple Paradise for mine. So I see a gnome.
All right, this, I don't know if you guys.
So cute.
This is my Americana, as I call them.
I wanted to do a patriotic one for the 4th of July, but it's like it got away from me.
And then everybody's seen I call this the spring one.
Ooh, cute, cute, cute.
My husband's like, well, you should make one of me and one of the kiddo and one of you. I was like, yeah, I can make the family gnomes. I was like, I got the, thank you. I got the pattern down pretty good, but it's just, I didn't know about how to do the color changing because it's all like one color for the pattern, but like I managed for my arms for this one, so. And my sewing, I'm still learning. I'm not very good at the sewing up part. It's like, ooh. Like, it's close.
I find Etsy has so many cute gnome patterns. And most of them are like under $2. But I have so many, I'm like, ooh, I want that one, that one, that one, that one.
So I was like, add to the library, add to the library, add to the library, like that one, download that one. Because they had the little candy corn. I was like, oh, that'd be so cute to make.
I know there's too many cute ones. Let's see, Inherited says a lot of thunderstorm activity here too. Yeah, and actually my computer does say rain's coming.
It's starting to get dark out here, so.
Let's see, Rosemary says, well, I'm expecting those people from Hoarders to show up and run me out of my home. I need a she shed. Yes, I want one too.
I want a she shed.
And like you'll see some of these really cute she sheds on Facebook. I'm like, oh, I want. And I'm like, the biscuit, get me this.
I'm like, I want it for my birthday. You can find it all together and you won't have to get me anything else for a couple of years.
Let's see, we have Amanda that joined us. Hi, Amanda. How are you today? And what are you working on? And everyone's saying that your gnomes are adorable.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you.
Let's see. Caroline's here. Hi, Caroline. How are you? And what are you working on? She says, no Etsy patterns I buy are $2. Actually, like for gnomes, there's a lot that are right around $2. Um, I think I do it like where I set the search from low to high, and it'll pull them up like closer to the front. But yeah, I've seen a lot. Now a lot of patterns weren't cheap though, like other type of things like shawls and.
I did find a little squirrel. I was like, oh, I'll make like a little squirrel and like the fall leaves. That'd be cute. Because I already made a couple pumpkins from last year. So I was like, well, I know how to do that. So I can make some more pumpkins.
I need to make some pumpkins. Now that I've gotten into doing amigurumi.
See, why I started to learn to crochet is I won this Harry Potter kit from Rodney Kachu Crazy Crochet. I think it's how. I apologize if I say that wrong. But I won that. I was like, oh, I gotta learn because I love Harry Potter. So that's why I've been learning to try that crochet. I'm like, I'll get it. I'm gonna get it. So one day you might see something.
See, for me, it's aliens. And I'm getting a collection of alien amigurumis now.
I seen them the other day. I was like, oh, I'll get that. I was like, I missed so much. I'm trying to get caught up on everything.
Let's see, Cindy says, I think a lot of people are praying for rain.
Yeah.
You can have our rain.
Yeah. It's rained all this week. Because we usually get, because it's my birthday was Monday, so I take the whole week off from work every year since I've been there. So I'm like, go figure, it's gonna rain. And in the southern part of West Virginia, it's flooding, and that's where we were going. We was going to go to a place called Summersville to go to Summersville Lake, but I guess we'll have to take literally a rain check on that.
Cindy says, I would also love a she shed.
The yarn shed, the yarny shed.
Caroline's working in breakfast. What are you having for breakfast? And let's see. I'm not sure if Cindy has to leave or not. She's saying she's thankful she got to see us today. So if you are leaving, I hope you have a good day.
Thanks for stopping by and have a wonderful and blessed day. I always say, don't forget, rock yarn.
And let's see, Rosemary says, go for it. And that she shed, they forget about saying, you can't ask for anything for a few years. Let's see, we have Laura Lee. See, I'm still getting tongue-tied. We have Laura joined us. Hi, Laura Lee. How are you doing today? And what are you working on? Yeah, Cindy is leaving. Have a good day, Cindy. And let's see, Diane says, yes, I'm praying for rain. My grass is already brown and no coming back. All right. So the next question I have for everybody is hold up, wrong question. What is your strength when it comes to crochet and or knitting?
Strength. Oh, I'm new, so I'll give myself a 2. Like, I was a tight knitter. Now I think I'm like loosening it up some. So,
see, what about you? Oh, you're sorry. I thought you were done.
What about you?
For me, I think it would be the fact that my strength would be that I jump into things, and that's how I find that I learn stuff. I, for the most part, don't let things intimidate me. I mean, it kind of does, don't get me wrong, but I figure like it'll just work itself out, which usually it does. So I think that's one of my strengths. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I can think of any other strengths. I don't know. That's if I think of something else, I'll let y'all know. Let's see. Caroline says Hooker House.
Put the red light on, huh?
Let's see. Laura Lee says, I am hoping to work on my charity blanket, but I've done is move water around on the lawns. Well, I am grateful I can read patterns. Yeah. I guess that would be another one of my strengths. That for the most part, I can read patterns. Now, if it's something that I haven't done before, then I tend to need a video tutorial. But for the most part,
Like I really didn't know how to do like the colorways until you let me test your latte pumpkin hat, and I'm like, oh, that's why I kept asking, how long do you, how quick do you need this? How long you gonna how long you need it? I'll try and but I busted it out. I was proud of myself. I told my husband I went in my daughter's room when she was out for college, so I go in there. I'm like, don't bug me for a few hours. I'll be back later on. I was like proud of myself. Yay!
let's see. Rosemary says, I don't have any strength. Oh, I'm sure you have some strengths. I'm sure you make some beautiful projects. And let's see. Nova's here. Hi, Nova. How are you today? And she says, I think I do well or have a strength for making fingerless mitts. They are small projects and I can learn a variety of stitches while doing them. Awesome. Yeah, I like gloves too. I had made my first pair of gloves, knitted gloves, a few months back. And like I just dived right in. I had never done mittens, never done fingerless gloves. I went straight for the fingered gloves. But speaking of gloves, on August 1st, I'm doing a video showing people's gloves that they've made, fingerless gloves, mittens. So if you would like to share some of your pictures, I would love to show them in that video. And also, I'm curious, what are you currently working on, Nova? And let's see, we also have Angelus here. How are you doing and what are you working on?
Hi, y'all. Welcome in.
So the current question I've asked is, what is your strength when it comes to crochet and or knitting? Um, let's.
You're kind of like me. I just like this here. I'm like, all right, this looks pretty simple. I'm like, it's just basically the knit, purl, and yarn over. So I was like, well, I'll give it a try and see how it turns out. And then like the sweater, I was like, I'll get it because you start out with the sleeves, and that's always the pain in the buns to do.
Whenever I did my first pair of knitted gloves, I'm looking at I'm looking at the tutorial and stuff and the pattern because there was also a written pattern, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? I was intimidated. I was just like, oh wow. But the thing is, once I got to those ports, it came together. Like because I find a lot of times if you look at a pattern like at the beginning, it feels so overwhelming. And then as you get to those ports, it's like it because you've been working the pattern, it seems like you can figure out what to do now.
I always say it's like magic. Like, oh,
But
or
yeah,
the
like
alien.
I'm looking at the fingers and I'm just like,
So small. I'm like, oh. I still like to learn how to do the DPNs. I've had like some patterns call for it, and I'm like, well, how do you do them? Because that looks confusing.
you see, with DPNs, it's like if I'm starting a pattern on DPNs, I can't do it. It's too topsy turvy, flimsy.
Oh my goodness.
But if I have to transfer to double pointed needles later on, I can do that It's like when I make my, I start off on circulars. Then when you're doing the decreases, then I transfer to double pointed. But I can't store it because I tried that when I knitted my first pair of socks. I tried starting on DPNs. It was like, mm-mm.
I'm like, oh, I was watching it's the Kay, the crazy sock lady, her vanilla socks. Like she's like, well, you can do it on your 9-inch circular, or you can switch to the. I'm like, I'm gonna stick with this because that looks way too confusing.
Well, the first pair of socks I knitted, whenever I got to the heel, I did do the double pointed needle on that part. Um, I had bought some bamboo ones. I broke 2 needles.
Oh,
I'm like, and I got the bamboo because I thought they were pretty. But yeah, I broke 2 needles, and then I was like, the second pair, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just continue doing it in the round. And I didn't have any problems with the tightness, so I just do it in the round, and then when I get to the toes, transfer to the magic loop method for the toe decreases. But yeah.
I was like, oh, that looks too much. No, I'm gonna stick with the 9-inch. I'll just keep it in the loop.
Let's see. Diane says, oh, hold on, I missed a comment. Anita says, I guess my strength would be designing. Awesome. Awesome. Hold up. Okay. My chat keeps jumping on me. Angela says, I'm working on a scarf. Awesome. Okay. Diane says, I'd love to learn how to crochet fingerless gloves. Now, I haven't done any gloves in crochet, but if you looked on YouTube for crochet fingerless gloves, you'd probably find a good tutorial. Um, well, I made a pair of finger gloves first, and that was a video tutorial. Then I did a fingerless pair, the sock monkeys. That
We're
one,
so cool.
yeah, that one. Well, I kind of I basically found a paid for pattern, and I looked at the picture and I'm like, oh, I'm like, I can do something similar to that. So I just kind of looked at the picture and then took the glove tutorial that I did for the finger gloves and basically just went from there. So it's kind of like I basically followed the pattern, but I know it's not like 100% exact. Because usually if I can look at a picture and figure out what they did, then I just do that. Let's see. Nova says, I am finishing up Patton's Granny Square cardigan, but it didn't turn out exactly as I hoped. I should have used a yarn with more drape. Currently working on the Juliet top. Oh, hold up. Sorry.
Bless you.
Sneeze.
Bless you, bless you.
Yeah, I'm sorry that it didn't work out for you how you were hoping. In here it says Ninja Grip. And I don't know how they broke that easily, but they're flimsy. And let's see. Rosemary says, if you want to see something I made, go to Crystal's Crochet Cubbyhole. She put a picture of some of the shawlettes I made on her community page. Okay.
I'll go
check it out. And we also have Chris that joined us. Hi, Chris. How are you today? And what are you working on?
Morning. Or I guess afternoon. Afternoon my time.
So my next question is, who has been your biggest supporter when it comes to crochet and or knitting? And whenever I ask this question, I'm not asking like who taught you. I'm just asking like who has supported you the most, like encouraged you.
Like my mom has helped me and encouraged me, and the girls at work, like they all like help me even though they don't know what they're doing, and then the residents that I take care of because they all knit and crochet, so they encourage me and my family, my husband and my daughter. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get there. Some days I'm like, I just don't think I feel like I'm doing it right. It don't look right. I'm like, so just step away, take a breath, go back in. But yeah, I would say my family and my mom, mostly my mom.
For me, it would be the biscuit. But like he don't know nothing about crochet or knitting, but he always tells me like, oh, you can do this, and tells me that he thinks I did a good job on things I make. And I also think Sophie thinks she helps encourage me too. But really, she mostly keeps me from knitting and crochet. And sometimes Allie too. But Allie don't come up to me as much.
Mm-hmm.
Allie's more of a loner cat. She wants you to go to her.
Like, you gotta come to me.
But I was loving on her earlier today.
Aww.
Enjoy that. Let's see. Inheritance says I busted a 2.25 millimeter double pointed needle by shoving it into her bag. So, has anyone else broken either a knitting needle or a crochet hook? Inquiring minds want to know. Granted,
I bought.
oh,
Go
go ahead.
I said I bought some cheap ones when I first started learning off the Amazon. They were like the wooden ones with the plastic. So when I started on my sock, it like kept coming undone. So I had to like kind of stick it back on, taped it up, and it kept on coming undone. So I would not recommend buying them one. Just saying.
I made that mistake. I, I got mine from eBay from China.
Oh well.
The bamboo with the little plastic, and it split where that cord connects to the needle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Like,
like doing everything I can to keep the stitches from falling off.
I was like, oh
I tried using tape, but like that really didn't work that well.
my.
I, I
Yarn
couldn't
gets
keep
stuck
getting.
to it. I was like, if this is how it's gonna be, I'm not gonna get anywhere.
So at that point, that's when I invested in my Knit Picks interchangeable circular needles. That's why I always say with knitting, especially circular needles, do not skimp.
No. I had some in my hand when I was at the Hobby Lobby, and they were $20, but they were like kind of like the plastic. And I'm like, I just don't know if that's worth $20. They probably, I mean, you pay for what you get. And I was like, I don't know what the reviews were on it either. I was like, no, I'll put that one back and save my money for a better set. I'm hoping one day I can get a nice set.
See, I find the probably the most affordable quality is Knit Picks or Knitter's Pride. Um, they say the best is like Chai Goo, and I think it's Aldi or something like that. That's another one that they say is really really good. But the that and Chai Goo, those are more, you're more expensive.
Because I got the Chug U for my sock. I was like, I'm gonna get the proper. I mean, this is what the pattern calls for, and it was like $13 for just the little 9 inch, but it's wonderful.
Yeah. For my socks, my circular for the socks. I got the Chai Goo for that.
It's like it works fantastic.
But yeah, but yeah, don't, especially not the really cheap. don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't.
Now some of the others, like you find out, like like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, those I think are pretty decent. I don't have experience with them, but I do know I've heard other people using them. But
I have a lot of Susie Bates because like I ordered like off the Goodwill website and it came in with like a box of my yarn. So I have like every size possible, but they work pretty good because they're like the plastic cord and all plastic. I haven't had any trouble with them. That's what I've been mostly using.
because I mean there are some others that seem to work well, but I mean, like whenever I had that issue and whenever I was asking for recommendations, it was mostly Knit Picks, Knitter's Pride, Chai Goo, and I think Aldi that people were mentioning. So I went with Knit Picks. Let's see. Inherited says YouTube was her biggest supporter. Rosemary says my best friend and my son.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda says my mom and kids encourage me all the time. Awesome. Okay, Angela says no stitch markers. I'm not following. Or do you mean that they're your biggest supporter while you're crocheting and knitting? That's the only thing I can think of. Anita says anyone who claims one of my projects that I made following my heart with no one in mind to give it to. Awesome. Yeah, and Heritage says Chai Gu, at least in her experience, is pretty good. And it's Addie, okay. And she likes Addie too. All right. Next question is what is the downside when it comes to your crochet and knitting habits? And I'm going to kind of explain this better. Like, is it maybe it takes you away from doing housework around the house, keeps you from socializing from your friends, stuff like that. So, how about you, Regina?
I like at first I was like all up like knitting all the time. My daughter was at school, so I was like, it's just me and my husband. I get up early, I get everything. But then I was like, I need to clean. I need to get up and clean. I was like, it's not going anywhere, but I gotta get up and do it. So what I did is like I made a 30 minutes. 30 minutes I knit. I'd go load up the dishwasher, put the dishwasher on, come back. Then I knit for another 30 minutes and finish up the housework. Because there's not a lot to do, but then I'm like, and then when my husband's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just knitting. You got anything planned for today? No, I'm good. And I'm like, well, maybe we should go spend some time together.
Yeah, for me, I'd say sometimes it keeps me from doing stuff around the house. It's like one more row, one more row.
We'll be like on lunch break. I'm like, oh, has it been 15 minutes already? I'm like, I'll be in 5 more minutes. I'm like, I apologize. I was knitting.
Or like the biscuit will say something, and I'm focusing on my crochet and knitting, and it goes in one ear, out the other.
And you're like, what? Don't, oh, mind me mess up. I gotta do it again.
Let's see. Okay. Oh, Angelus was talking about breaking stitch markers. Um, I do find, especially like the homemade stitch markers, those will sometimes come undone. But you can also fix the, like, especially if you have like the jewelry type making kits. So you can fix them. Let's see. Inherited says I don't have any in real life friends. Oh, but one thing I do find a lot of times, like sometimes like your friends on the internet sometimes are better friends than like in real life people.
Mm-hmm. It's like, well, I was happy I found like all you guys. I was like, hey, someone that shares my hobbies and understands what I need and understands, like
Yeah.
knitting like a hobby or like an interest or like your creativity comes and I'm like, yes, somebody's out there that understands and I'm not cuckoo.
And that's one thing because sometimes friends that you make online you're closer to than people, your real
Mhm.
life friends. Chris says, ditto friends, what is that? Let's see, Laura Lee says, I'm back, had to walk away. I can't think of anything other than wished I could. Yeah. It's like you always see yarn and you're like, oh, I want that.
I'm like, I want this. I was like, oh, I put that in my maybe basket. I haven't checked
Inher-
out yet.
Inheritance as a plague makes it harder to make friends. And let's see. Oh, it's the plastic ones that you have trouble with? See, I've never had one of like I use the little safety pin looking ones. I've never had problems with those.
No, I just lose mine all the time.
Hmm.
Like
Or
the little round ones that you use, like I'm using on my socks. I'll start knitting and I'm like, I hear something hit the floor. I'm like, oh, well, where'd it go to? Because they're so tiny.
Sophie likes to knock them over. Who else has a pet that likes to knock over like y'all stitch markers and row counters and stuff like that? I know I do. My mouse is. Let's see. Chris says, "I've I've gone my life without them. Not a pandy thing for me. I am my own best company."
Well, you got us, the crazy Arnie girls and gals and guys.
Brenda says, "One more flipper to make and the dolphin is done. Go, Brenda. Go, go,
Kid,
go, Brenda." I've been around Cindy with pups and crochet too long. She always sings that. Go, Cindy. Let's see. We have Joy that joined us. Hi, Joy. How are you doing today? And what are you working on?
Y'all.
Inheritance says, "I'm my own best company. I have husband and kids, but that's not the same." See, the biscuit's my best friend. Chris says, "Yep, online friends are great. Get your fill."
You
Nova says, "I find that I spend a lot of time looking for a pattern and on Pinterest, and sometimes I find that I've wasted more time than I wanted to." Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, "Oh, I'm only going to be 5 or 10 minutes," and next thing you know, you've been on an hour or two.
4 hours later, I'm like, oh, where'd the time go? It's already time to make dinner. Oh, man.
Inheritance says, "I have a lot of online acquaintances." Angela says, "But I have the lock ones." Yeah, the little safety pin ones lock. Those tend to be the ones I use the most, especially with knitting. Now with crochet, I tend to use the homemade ones more. Let's see. Chris says, "I went with Clover Amore from the start and never had a problem. Might not have as much luck with knitting needles when I start." Yeah, I heard that the Clover is supposed to be really good. And let's see. Laura Lee says, "I have had trouble with cheap plastic stitch markers. No cats here. My dog wouldn't tolerate the loss of attention."
My dog's somewhere. He's usually under the table.
Inheritance says, my cat doesn't really wreck my stuff. I try to keep stuff away from her, though I've heard cats like to chew cords for knitting needles, crochet hooks. I've never had trouble with mine trying to attack the cords. Usually it's yarn that they try to.
I
You
think
hear
it's
them
the
like
toy.
they put it in their mouth, and you're like, ah, get that out.
I'm like, no, no, not to eat.
But it's more Sophie that I have issues with. But that's because she comes to me a lot too. But Sophie loves to knock things over. That's her favorite pastime.
It's
And
like my dog's cats are pretty good. They don't like they look, I'm like, no, keep moving.
I think Allie's favorite pastime is hissing. Anita says, downside for me is that I miss seeing a lot because everything I look at gives me an idea to crochet something. Let's see. Oh, Inherited says she has a Labrador Retriever Coonhound, so I have to keep stuff away from him too. Sid says, well, at least she doesn't sing Getting Home, Cindy, Cindy, laughing out loud. Oh, like Cindy with Pups and Crochet, I sing all sorts of stuff to her. I change up lyrics and songs. And she's like, Connie, you're crazy. And I'm like, yep, I know. Let's see, we have Sue that joined us. Hi, Sue. How are you doing today? And what are you working on? And let's see, Anita says, the friend thing was never a problem for me. I didn't even have friends as a kid because I didn't want to talk. Only when only when I'm in the mood to talk. Was always happy by myself. Oh, we have Granny D in the house. Hi, Granny D. How are
Hi.
you doing today? And what are you working on? And Inherited says, I'm trying not to feel angry. I have to sit in an MRI machine today, and I have to leave my bag with my phone and stuff behind. And it's kind of evasive. Can't wear my necklace, smartwatch, etc.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Them are never fun to do either.
Yeah, it's a big old magnet. And like, there was this thing that I watched that showed like if something magnetic is in the same room, like what will happen, and it's scary. I shouldn't be saying that. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to scare you, Inherited. But I did find that fascinating. Let's see. Inherited says, I dropped my yarn ball behind me when I was carrying a sock project, and it trailed behind me while I walked across the house. I felt tugging, and my cat was there attacking the yarn. Sweet
Like
kitty. Let's see. Inherited says a big old magnet. Can I store my embroidery needles on it?
You'd be able to find them.
Sue says, I'm doing good and I'm working on armchair covers. Laura Lee says, my hands are really shaky today. I keep hitting the wrong key. Oh, I'm sorry. And you know what's funny? Like, especially like when I go to type when I'm live, when I need to use the keyboard, it's like my hands get clumsy. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share the free patterns that I have to share with y'all. And then we may ask a couple of more questions depending on the time. So I have some crochet and knitted patterns that I'm sharing today. They're all free patterns, and these are using number 4 weighted yarns. And let's see. Let me get to the share button. And some are crochet and some are knitted. Okay. This first we're doing the crochet ones. This is Clement Canyon Poncho by Teresa, however you say that. And this is crochet.
Oh, that's cute. I like the colors.
I do too. And these are poncho patterns that I'm sharing. I don't remember if I said that. Okay. Do. That's knitted, I think. Yeah. This one is a crochet pattern, and it's Morley's Perfect Dramatic Cowl Poncho, and it's by Morley Bird. Look how pretty.
It is cute.
And I love more like a lot of Morley Bird's knitted patterns. Oh, I am forgetting one. Let's see. This one is Crochet Poncho by Jillian Culver.
Oh, that one's cute. I like the fringes.
Me too, and I love the color. It looks like a fun poncho.
It does. It's cute.
And all these links are in the description box of today's live. Okay, let's see. This one is Batwing Swancho, and I'm not even going to attempt her name. This is a knitted pattern,
Oh, that's cute.
and I love the lace work in the front.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
Wouldn't be able to do white because me and white don't get along. Too much coffee.
yeah, don't want to spill your coffee on white. This
No.
is Cape 800-063-001 by Langhorne, Switzerland.
Oh,
And I
that
love
one's
this one.
cute. I like the long.
Me too. And I like the neck. And I like the colors on this one.
Yeah, that'd be like a St. Patrick's Day kind of, because it's still kind of cool. I like the colors too.
So those are the patterns that I'm sharing. And let's see. Diane, these are patterns that I found on Ravelry, and I have all the links for them in the description box of today's live. And let's see. Where did I leave off? Granny D says, I'm still doing do-rags, which I plan on keeping them going until I get tired of them. Hopefully never. But I also am working on an Afghan for my granddaughter, Bells. I will also be starting a blanket for my youngest grand. Yeah, I keep saying that I'm gonna make do-rags. That is something I do want to make eventually. But my poor thin hair, Um, well, a do-rag probably would do okay, but I know like headbands, I can only wear a headband if I pull my hair back. My hair is so thin.
Mine's thin too. I always have mine is this long, and I just stick it in a ponytail.
That's how thin it is.
This is mine.
Let's see. Inheritance says, I am all thumbs typing on a screen, less so with an actual keyboard. Yeah. Especially when I'm typing a lot, I prefer a keyboard. I can type faster because it's like on a keypad. It's like, let's see. Inheritance says, I'm supposed to be sewing granny squares together. Nova says, my favorite stitch marker is a lobster clasp style with a small rubber band attached and bead in the middle. The rubber band keeps the hook attached to the project. Ooh, nice.
Cool.
Granny D says, I need an easy poncho pattern, knit or crochet. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I know of any offhand. On Saturday's live, I may try to find some patterns that would be easy, more easy type patterns for ponchos. Okay, Diane wants to know, how do you get the free patterns? Okay, let's pull up one of the patterns real quick. I go to Ravelry.com and okay, let me pull it up from here. Okay, this is Ravelry. Like say you're looking for poncho. You would type poncho in the search bar. Okay. Then you have where you can filter your search. Like if you're looking for crochet, you can select crochet, or if you're looking for knitting, you can select knitting. I'm going to hit both of them. I might find Granny D some patterns. And if you go down some more, next you'll see category. Then you'll see availability. And you see right here it says free. And I click on free. And then you have other search filters too, like has photo, like certain attributes. If you're looking for like a certain age, size, and fit, right here gives the weight of yarn. And this is yarn held together. This is, yardage. And this color use, pattern source type, hook size, needle size, difficulty. But for free patterns, like I said, you want to go to right here and select free. And then, like, here's a boho poncho. This is cute, Granny D.
Cute.
But that's pretty much how you search. I'm trying to see if I see something that looks easy. This probably would be pretty easy. And you could also just do it in a solid color.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. I lost my spot. Oh, inherited. Well, my hair's fine too. Mine is fine and thin. And let's see. Granny D says my hair isn't thin, but it's baby fine. It says I have long, thick hair, and it drives me crazy in this. And one thing funny, even though my hair is not thick, but it drives me crazy. Like after I finish my live, I'm going to be putting my hair up. And that's where, like, a lot of times, like when it's hot, I wear my hair up more because it drives me crazy. Laura Lee says, I found a pattern for a stretchy headband called the Genius Headband. I love it. Ooh, awesome.
Cool.
Oh, Colleen's here. How are you today? And what are you working on? Granny D says, yeah, forget about the filters for search and Ravelry. I have to check that out also. Thanks for the reminder. Oh, I love the filters because it's easier to find more of what you're looking for. Okay. Yeah, hopefully that helped, Diane. Because I know, like, you may not be able to see the cursor as well on the screen. Let's see. Inherited says, I love the filters too. All right. We have time for one more question and then we'll wrap up. Let's see. Oh, speaking of ponchos, have you ever made a poncho before? And if you haven't, is that something you want to make down the road?
I have not made a poncho, but I would love to make one. I think they're cute, and like I live in West Virginia, so we get like cold weather, so we get like the 4 seasons, so that would work perfect. Because I'm not really like a like wear the jacket kind of person. I like my hoodies, so that would be kind of cool. I would like to try the one.
Yeah,
How about you?
I've made one poncho. It was Bago Day's hooded poncho. I do eventually want to do more for ponchos, and I'd love to knit one. But the scary thing about knitting, you typically have the seams, and like I don't mind like a little bit of sewing, but like when you have like big seams and stuff, I'm not a fan of having to sew seams.
And your mind's like, boop, boop, boop.
Let's see. Grady D says, "Yep, putting long hair up in the summer is a must for me too. Mine, mine is most often up except for my lives. Yeah, usually when mine's up, it's either because it's hot or I don't feel like fooling with my hair.
Mine's up only when I go to bed. It's the only time I have it down. Sometimes I'll have it down on some videos, or it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. And it's always frizzy. I'm like, ugh.
Oh, speaking of that, so the other day I had my hair up and I kind of like basically did kind of like this, where I tucked it like under a couple of times, like that, and I pinned it up, and I had my hair wet. So whenever I took it down, it had like the little like
Oh, yeah.
curl, and then whenever I went to comb it, it just like made a frizzy mess. It looked like I had hair though. My hair was all combed out.
I always braid mine a lot. So, like, sometimes I'll wake up the next day and I'm like, why is my hair so curly? And I'm like, oh, it's because I always have my hair braided.
Let's see, Granny D says, "Yep, I've made knitted ponchos before." And Brenda says she's made several ponchos. Laura Lee says most of the yarn companies like Lion Brand has free patterns. Some are paid patterns. All Free Crochet has free patterns. Try Your Inspirations too. Yeah, there are other sites. Like I usually just search like kind of what I'm looking for. Like I'll Google it, and I'll throw free in the search, but it doesn't always give you all free patterns. Um, but it sometimes I'll find patterns that way, but I tend to hit Ravelry the most.
That's where I go, the Ravelry. Oh, I'm like, oh, that looks nice. That looks nice.
And Granny D says the knitted one I did was made in the round, so no unsightly seams. Ooh, I may need to find one that's all in the round. I know drops drops has some gorgeous poncho patterns for knitting, but I know the last time I attempted to read a drops pattern, I couldn't really figure their patterns out. I don't know. Maybe now I'd be able to figure it out better. But like drops writes their patterns weird. It's not like it in the normal format. Laura Lee says I made all my granddaughters and two of their friends ponchos. Aww.
Mm.
Granny D says I use a product called Big Sexy Hair. It's a gel and I apply it to my hair when it's wet after washing. Gives the appearance of volume. And I have used their products before. Um, but the funny thing is, with some of the stuff will do a little good, but it doesn't make a drastic difference. But yeah, or horse shampoo is supposed to help thicken your hair.
Yeah, mean and tell.
Let's see. Brenda says my daughters have long curly hair, past their behind, and it's thick. See, like my cousins are like that. They have thick, beautiful hair. And it was funny because I used to play around with my hair a lot, and my cousin was always like, you know, if only you had the thick hair like me, and I'm like, yes.
I think my daughter has some thick hair. Like we even like thinned it out, and it's still thick. I'm like, I don't know where'd you get your hair from, because I thought you were supposed to get your hair from your mom, but evidently you didn't.
And it's like, now there were times that my hair did do better. But I also think, like, I've always had thin and fine hair, but I think it's thinned over like the last 10 years or so. Laura Lee says, isn't Drops an overseas company? I think so. And someone did mention that that's the way in that country they write their patterns up. And here it says, my daughter has fine hair and a ton of it. But yeah, my hair's straight. And during the summertime, I don't even bother trying to curl it. It's just gonna fall. And like usually then it becomes like a mess. Where
I braided mine today because it was frizzy. I was like, the more I brush it, I was like, this keeps going. I'm like, oh, we'll just put it in the braid. Main the tame.
Brenda says, don't thin thick hair grow and thicker. Get it layered. A lot of times I do have my hair layered whenever I get it cut. Oh, I hope you have a. I'm getting tongue tied. I hope you have a good day, Diane. All right. So it's that time to start wrapping things up. So is there anything you would like to say before we wrap up?
Just thank you all for coming and watching us and giving us support and thumbsing up and all that fun stuff.
And I want to thank you, Regina, for coming live with me today. I
Thanks
enjoyed having you. And I want to thank everybody for watching today. I enjoyed interacting with y'all, and I hope y'all enjoyed today's live, even with me getting tongue tied a lot today. And I also want to thank those that will be watching the replay. And if you do watch the replay, leave a comment, let us know. And also feel free to answer the questions we asked on today's live in the comment section. So I hope y'all all have. See, I'm doing it again. Okay, today's live is super central. I hope y'all all have a fabulous Yorty day. Be the light and bye.
Bye, y'all.